Hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. If you spent any time on the internet in the last week, you may have heard that HBO's Velma show is bad. Really bad. So bad that people can't stop talking about it, so bad that watching it gave me anxiety, and so bad in fact that, quote, it has spawned psyop conspiracy theories. Now what does this mean? Well, basically that the show is bad on purpose, that this was an intentional decision by the creators and writing team. But why would the showrunners do this to their own show on purpose? Well, after hearing about these theories on a whim, I decided to look a little deeper into this. I'm not entirely sure why I decided to do this, but here we are, and you may be quite shocked to see what I have found. So let's begin. The theory originated from Twitter, of course, from a user by the name of OneRadChi, and goes as follows. The showrunner of Velma, Mindy Kaling, is both a transphobe and said that you couldn't make The Office today because cancel culture. She's a fellow reactionary. She deliberately made Velma suck so the culture war YouTubers make a million videos about it to boost its SEO. SEO meaning search engine optimization, and PSYOP stands for psychological operation. Actions designed to influence the perceptions and attitudes of individuals, groups, and foreign governments. So basically the idea is that the creators made the show so intentionally bad and so intentionally woke to poke fun at the recent rise in identity politics in television and film, and cause reaction out of fans, thus creating traffic for the show, inadvertently making it a success. Regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on, it's hard to deny that the rise of identity politics in film and TV and the aggressive push for one-sided Hollywood agendas has contributed to a decline in TV and film of the past few years, especially with the likes of Disney, Marvel, Amazon Studios, and others. A push for more diversity and inclusion in film, at least from my vantage point, is not the issue, so much as quality of story has suffered at the cost of it. This seems to have taken precedent over the likes of good storytelling and narrative, which begs the question, why not both? While this is possibly a video for another day, the point is, a show like Velma may not be quite so shocking to some after some of the other projects we were graced with in 2022. I would implore people with that mindset who haven't seen the show to watch just the first episode, because I don't buy this. It's really that bad. But it's bad at an almost self-aware level. Every other joke has something to do with stereotypes, social justice, race, ethnic heritage, sexual preferences, and the like, and I am not exaggerating. Watch even 10 minutes, it's almost shocking. And I'm going to make the argument that showrunner Charlie Grandy and executive producer Mindy Kaling knew what they were doing. I don't know what her motive was. I don't know if she's far right and is trying to make fun of the left. I don't know if she thought it would be funny to be self-aware of how woke the show is. I don't know if she genuinely thought the show was good. I just don't know. But after watching and a bit of research, I am almost entirely sure that this was intentional. Mindy Kaling has quite the storied past when it comes to her dealings with the so-called woke mob, and after diving down such an obscure rabbit hole as Kaling's past, I've come prepared with evidence. Exhibit A. The J.K. Rowling tweet. Because of J.K. Rowling's opinions on single-sex spaces such as bathrooms, she has been accused of being transphobic. Back in October of 2022, one Twitter user tweeted at Rowling saying, "How do you sleep at night, knowing you've lost a whole audience from buying your books?" This grammatically incorrect tweet sparked a response from Rowling stating, "I read my most recent royalty checks and find the pain goes away pretty quickly. But here's the catch. Mindy Kaling liked Rowling's tweet." Oh yes, she liked the tweet, and people noticed. Responses to this act emerged, such as this tweet stating, "Hi Mindy Kaling, can you explain this like of yours? I'm trying not to jump to the worst conclusions, but this doesn't look good." Or this one, "Why are we surprised about Mindy Kaling liking that tweet? Just a few years ago, her brother wrote a book about how he posed as a black man to get into medical school." End quote. That's true, by the way, but we will talk about that later. Is the Velma show Kaling's revenge for this backlash? Let's continue. Exhibit 2. Sexually harassing a co-star and joking about it. 6 years ago, Kaling appeared on an episode of Conan and shared a quirky story about her interaction on the set of The Mindy Project with fellow actor Lee Pace.
Don't make me call you racist.
Kaling recounts that while filming a scene with them together, while they were supposed to be having a conversation, she was overcome by his good looks and unscripted kissed him.
Which was not in the script.
It's not that, see, you just went for it. You just started kissing that guy.
And he asked me a question, I was not listening to him at all, because who cares what he was saying? And I was just like, and then I pretended it didn't happen.
She then attempted to pretend like nothing happened, walked backstage, and was approached by a producer saying, "What are you doing? You could be sued for that." And her response?
And I said, tell anyone and you're fired.
Well, haha. What an endearing story to talk about on live television. I wonder how she would have reacted if the roles were reversed and a male actor, unscripted, kissed her. We may never know.
Yeah, so basically that's going to be happening a lot more now, too, because you got away with it.
However, being the self-proclaimed feminist that Kaling is, it's hard to believe that she truly ascribes to the ideals she appears to support.
Having that much power on your show has led to being a little unprofessional.
You know, I think the temptation is there.
The temptation.
And I have succumbed to that temptation.
Evil behavior.
Exhibit 3. History of poking fun at wokeness. On Good Morning America, Kaling once stated that the show The Office, which she helped co-write, just couldn't be made today, and that it probably wouldn't fly in today's climate. This quote shows that she is fairly self-aware of the things she tends to work on, but the evidence becomes even more damning when you look at other projects she's worked on, such as Late Night, a film about an Indian American woman who was brought on as a writer on a late night show because the writing team needed a revamp and was composed of all white men.
We need to hire a woman.
Would a gay guy work?
No.
So she's brought on as a diversity hire in the film, but she has no experience writing. She's simply brought on as a writer for her gender.
So you have no experience in comedy? You're hired. If it doesn't work out, which you probably won't, you'll be gone.
So this leads to some humorous moments where she basically has to learn to become a writer.
I will not be marginalized because no one here looks like me.
She's not trying to silence your strong female woman of color spirit. Hashtag me too, blah, blah, blah. You're a new writer with no experience. Write something.
Okay.
Get it? Funny, right? Okay. So as the writer of the film, is she poking fun at diversity hires who have zero experience for the jobs they're hired to do? Or is she simply making a goofy film about a woman learning how to work as a writer on late night TV? Well, the plot synopsis on Rotten Tomatoes states, a late-night talk show host's world is turned upside down when she hires her first and only female staff writer. Originally intended to smooth over diversity concerns, her decision brings about unexpectedly hilarious consequences as, in quote, blah blah blah. Okay, so the film was self-aware. A bit curious to me. More evidence. Mindy Kaling appeared in an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Season 13, Episode 1, called The Gang Makes Patties Great Again. In this episode, Kaling plays Cindy, a new hire at Patties who thanks the crew for being, quote, so welcoming of this brown-skinned girl and her liberal ideas. Turns out she's just as ruthless as the rest of the gang and creates a scheme to use Trump-era outrage to spread fake news, incite liberal outrage, trigger conservatives, and inflame. She is teased as a possible replacement for Dennis, however, the episode of course ends with Dennis's return and Cindy being kicked out of the group. Dennis, who is played by Glenn Howerton, also voices Fred in the new Velma series. I can't help but feel like Kaling's poking fun at political agendas in film and television may just give us the answers that we've been looking for. Exhibit 4. Her brother pretended to be a black man to get into medical school. Does this have anything to do with the Velma conspiracy? I don't really know, but I can't ignore this. But that's basically the gist of it. Her brother, an Indian American by the name of Vijay Chakalingam, which I'm assuming is how she came up with the name Kaling, attempted to get into medical school by shaving his head and posing as a black man. I can't make this up. This happened. Just know that this happened. He was trying to make a point about affirmative action or something and was apparently being considered by 14 of the country's top medical programs, even though he had a low GPA. He was admitted into St. Louis University School of Medicine by pretending to be black, but was eventually found out. This is both terrible and simultaneously hilarious. He wrote a book about it, and on the cover, a quote from Mindy Kaling saying, "This book will bring shame on our family." She has also publicly denounced her brother's work on this project. However, does this have nothing to do with Mindy's political leanings? Or everything? We may just never know. While these sorts of theories about Mindy Kaling are not new, after watching the first 2 episodes of Velma, I couldn't help but look further into this. The show is so unironically terrible that while I sat there witnessing the horror that is Velma, I thought to myself, this must be a ruse, a farce, a big ol' bamboozle. Mindy Kaling is perhaps an undercover agent, an operative, if you will, desperately trying to tear down the beast from the inside. Or perhaps she's just become a very poor writer. Well, that's the video, everybody. Please subscribe. I really like making these, and I'd like to keep making them, so please subscribe, and if you stuck around this long, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.